Golden Girls right here. This is a hot Golden Girls.
Now, which Golden Girl would you be though?
I'm Blanche.
Oh, she's
the
Blanche.
whore, 100%.
Straight up. Straight up.
There'll be a revolving door of hot 40-year-olds coming through. We're not 70.
I live for it, Erica. Live your life.
Hey everybody, welcome to Grown Ass Women Talking. I'm your girl Loni Love, comedian, actress, and Emmy-winning talk show host.
And I'm Erica Montolfo, writer, showrunner, and Lonnie's super fun sidekick.
You sure are, honey. And thank you all for joining us for another episode. This is going to be a great one today, Erica. For our grown ass topic today, we're going to be talking with our good friend Angela Grovey about being child-free by choice. But before we dive into that, Erica, what's on your mind?
Listen, I think there's an elephant in the room right now. I hate to keep talking about my hair, but have you seen this mess? It's green. My hair is green.
Your hair looks fine, Erica.
But it's green. Listen, again, I'm on my blonde girl journey, my blonde black girl journey, as you like to call it. And I had the nerve to get in a pool this weekend, which is another blonde black girl mess. And the chlorine dyed my hair green. So I get out of the pool and I was like, what? Look at my hairline.
But that's in fashion. The kids are wearing green hair, so you look like you're in fashion.
The
so
key word is kids. And I'm fucking grown-ass women. And kids are pointing me on the street like, look at that lady with the Kermit hair. Like, it's a mess.
You look great. What else is going on?
Every day there's something, right? Well, another thing I will say, we had our lovely preview, which I'm so excited about. I hope the viewers and listeners, got to see it. But one person who was not in love with it?
Who?
My mom. Well, let's call her Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable was not. I mean, she loves us and she loves you, and she thought we looked beautiful. That's the most important thing. But she was like, I don't like clutching her pearls. I don't like that you guys say a lot of bad words. And I was like, well, Mom, I mean, we're grown-ass women. That's the whole point. She's like, well, I'm just saying you could say it by using your vocabulary. I'm like, that's
She's
part of
right.
But that's part of our vocabulary, right? I mean,
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I think you mentioned somebody's penis once or twice, and then I was like right on top of it.
Oh, so it's the subject that
she doesn't like the word penis. She doesn't like dick. She doesn't like.
Well, you're gonna hear a lot of that, Mama Erica.
That's why I told her. I said, don't. I said, listen, Claire Huxtable, do not tune in. This is not for you. And she doesn't want to talk about sex, so do not tune in for the next couple of episodes because she doesn't want me talking about my sex life.
That's the thing when you're dealing with podcasts, you have to deal with certain situations, certain topics, and we have a meaning. There is a meaning behind what we're saying. And it's funny because I had another pitch meeting. I have 1,000 pitch meetings.
Yes, you're very famous.
It's like I have all these pitch meetings and nothing's getting sold. But I was telling this one executive about the podcast. And, I was just mentioning it. I wasn't trying to, do anything. I was just mentioning it. And, it's like a little throwaway, like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast and it's for, certain women of a certain age and it's called Grown Ass Women Talking. And then I asked her a question. And before she answered the question, she said, no, let me go back to the podcast. She says, that's very interesting because I don't know of a podcast like this that speaks to women. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yes.
That's true.
And so she said that she would be tuning in. And so, to all of our women out there, this is a podcast that we have developed for you. And it may be some things that you agree with, some things you don't agree with. Just let us know. Just hit us up in the comments and let us know, or leave us a voice message. And this is what we are, but we are grown ass women. We will be talking, and this is our show, and it's the beginning. So we're going to do some ups and downs, and it'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Don't hold us accountable like my mom, Claire Huxtable, does.
It's okay. But this is going to be a good episode. that I think she would want to listen to, because we're going to get into all sorts of stuff. We're going to be talking about Demi Moore. She's on the cover of Variety. Also, the Venice Film Festival is in play, and you have Angela Jolie, Glenn Close in the movie Deliverance. I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about Kamala's first interview. You know, everybody been begging her to do an interview, so she finally did one. So we're going to touch on that a little bit, and we're going to end up with Cam Newton. There's some talk about Cam Newton, and I wanted to talk about him because our topic today is child-free by choice with our guest, Angela Grovey. So we're going to get into all of that, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is Grown Ass Women Talking. Are you a grown-ass woman with something to say? What are you unapologetic about? What's got you fired up?
Are you thrilled the kids are finally back in school? Or mad at your friends for asking you out after 9 p.m.? Or did you get stood up on your third Tinder date this week? Whatever it is, let it all out.
Visit our website at GAWTpod.com and leave us a voice message. That's GAWTPOD.com, or drop us a voice note at GAWTpod@gmail.com. We might just play your message on our next episode.
So don't hold back. This is your space to talk about it.
We're back with more GAWT. This segment is what we're calling the Tea. Each week, I'll get Erica's take on the week's gossip and current events after she's had a glass of wine.
Ding.
You know, this week it's a lot of grown women news, so let's get right into it. Our girl, Demi Moore, she's on the cover of Variety because she has a new film. It's called The Substance. Do you follow her on IG, Erica?
I don't follow her because I don't follow anybody, but I will say I see her, you know, in headlines or on TMZ, and I want whatever doctor she has. I mean, she looks amazing. And she's got to be what, like 60? Is she 60?
She's 61 years old. She has been doing fabulous.
Incredible. Like,
she's
I need her doctor on speed dial right now.
What, you know what? I don't know what she's doing, but she is looking fabulous. And for, you know, our young heads that listen to us, there was a moment in time with Demi Moore where she was Hollywood's highest paid actress. She was the it girl. She did these slew of movies like G.I. Jane. She did a Ghost where we know all the famous, the pottery scene and all of that.
Where she had that short little haircut that she brought back, the pixie cut that everybody was trying to copy. Yeah, she was it.
She was the it girl. And what's interesting is that she, in this Variety article, she is talking about how, you know, she turned 40 and then Hollywood kind of like one of the people came at her and was like, "Oh, we don't have nothing else for you." I mean,
wow.
it was amazing. And so this movie that she's in is a horror movie, but it's about an aging actress. There's a certain scene where you know, she's this aging actress and Dennis Quaid is a network boss, and he basically sits her character down and says that women are useless once menopause starts. And so, you know, the interviewer was asking her, you know, in real life, how did that affect you? And she says, well, historically, that was true in terms of how women were perceived. In your childbearing years, you were more desirable in a sexual way. Once women got past that point, they were regulated to other roles. And the good news is that it's changing.
Yes, I think so.
She said she did an interview with Michelle Yeoh, and she feels like she's been such an inspiration. But Demi Moore is an actual inspiration. I mean, to think of the things that she has gone through in her life, you know, it's like she is really a grown-ass woman, and this movie is sort of like her comeback movie.
I think you're 100% right. I think she, to me, is one of the pioneers of making grown-ass women attractive. Do you know what I mean? Like, she looks amazing. She shepherded in the Halle Berrys and the Jennifer Lopez's and the Loni Loves and the Erica Montolfos. Like, we're all like, we're good. Like, in our 40s and 50s, you know, we're not put out to pasture yet. We're still working. We're still thriving. We're still, you know, having relationships. I'll say that for my mom. I'll put it like in in PG terms.
Sex.
We're still
Sex,
having
mom.
We're having sex, mom.
That's what we're doing, But why is it, do you think, with women that we have to be like, men can be the silver haired,
I know,
good looking? I mean, you just see they have the Venice Film Festival going on, and you see Brad Pitt and George Clooney, and they're walking around like they're in their 20s.
Come on now. Brad Pitt and George Clooney are like outliers. I mean, listen, you've dated older men, like, they don't look like Brad Pitt. Let's just say that. They don't have Brad Pitt bellies, you know what I mean? Like six packs. Just it's a different category, I would say.
Well, I do appreciate that Hollywood is changing, and I think this Demi Moore situation is actually showing that it is changing, and it's a good thing for women because your life doesn't stop once you get menopause. It just does not.
To that point, do you notice? I mean, and maybe not this season, but last season at all the film festivals, there were a lot of like May-December romances where like Julianne Moore was with like a younger guy. Like that was a whole thing last season. So, we're putting this whole thing on the map. We're putting ladies of a certain age, grown-ass women on the map.
Well, like we talked about with Wendy Raquel. Hey, honey, sometimes when you get older, you need that young thing.
Listen, who you telling?
Hey, real quick, I met Demi Moore once. I was at a charity function in Hollywood, and I was so excited. You know how you go out and you go to get your car, and she was standing there, her and this guy, and young guy, and he knew me from The Real. He's like, "Oh my God, Lonnie from The Real," and blah blah blah, right? And then I was like, "But you know me, I'm always trying to get that picture, right?" And I was like,
"Oh, your Instagram."
It's like, "Oh, Miss Moore," and she was kind of like, and she went to her car, right? She turns around and comes back, and she says, "I heard that you're the shit, and I want to take a picture with you." And I was like, ah! And so I have the picture. So I'm gonna give it to Siege so he can put it up for you guys to see it. So it was so cute. So
I love it.
We love Demi Moore. And also in Grown Woman News, let's talk about Glenn Close in the movie Deliverance. I went to that premiere. The premiere was epic.
You are always at some premiere without me. I never get a +1, not once. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, sometimes I have to take James. If I don't take James, he get attitude.
James, God, James gets to be in my seat every night. How dare he?
I'm gonna take you to for some reason, what I do like about not having a daytime talk show right now is that I get to go to events that I never was able to have the time to go to. And so to be able to go and support, because I know people are like, she ain't never in the movie. Was she?
Not yet.
Yeah, but it's exciting to me, especially, right after this strike, to be able to support so many people.
And to network, bitch, don't lie. You're getting out there giving people your your resume and your picture.
Well, you know what? I reunited on the Deliverance premiere with my girl Monique. And
nice.
Monique reunited with Lee Daniels. They had a falling out.
Good for them.
He apologized. He put her in the Deliverance, and it was well worth the apology, honey. Because I mean, she did her thing. But on the red carpet, she saw me, and like we saw the movie, did the premiere, and then they still had the red carpet out when you're leaving, and so she ended up asking me to do a little clip. And I was like, oh, okay. So we did a little reunion because 20 years ago, you guys, we were in a movie called Soul Plane, Monique and I,
God.
and we played 2 TSA agents. And so we did a little, and if you look at the clip, it's on my Instagram. It was hilarious, and it went viral, and everybody is talking about, let's put Monique and Lonnie in the movie. I'm like, yes, please, bitches.
That would be a great buddy comedy. I would love that.
You know what? You could write it. So
I'll write it. I'll write a little girls trip-esque buddy comedy for the two of you. That'd be amazing.
Well, that's good. But let me get back to Glenn Close in Deliverance. Okay. In the movie Deliverance, it's about a woman played by Andra Day. Glenn Close plays her mother because Andra Day is mixed and Glenn Close is her mother. And Lee Daniels warned us that when y'all see Glenn Close in this movie, you're not going to know this is Glenn Close. And we're like, what is he talking about? Oh, he tried to warn us. He was right. I mean,
why? What's going on?
In the movie, Glenn Close plays a chain-smoking, cancer-ridden mother, and it's inspired by real events. And when I say she looked like Glenn J. Blige, she got her little curly wigs on. She's got the tops on that's got the cutouts. I mean, she's smoking a cigarette. It's just something totally different. Now, Lee Daniels took liberties with the story because the actual story, the mother is not white. But because I believe his thinking was, since he had Andra Day, and Andra Day is mixed, he was like, wow, let me put Glenn Close in. And when I say Glenn Close at 77 years old plays this role so well, I mean, it trended all weekend, over the Labor Day weekend. It trended. Everybody was talking about it. And it just shows you what happens when, as an actress, if you're giving the right role and you really know how to act, you can really make a point. And it's just something that everybody that I told to see it, they were like, oh my goodness, it's just like so on point.
Well,
so
she's amazing. I mean, and you forget, people sleep on Glenn Close, but don't forget Fatal Attraction. Like, to me, that role is like to this day one of the best female roles ever, and she killed it. And she killed a bunny too, but she killed the role.
That Glenn Close.
But she's intense, and I love it. I love every minute of it.
I was able to meet her. You know how I am.
Oh, here we go. Another name drop.
I was on that red carpet.
I know,
honey, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. I've been watching her for 36 years. Yeah, and you think I'm going to sit there? And she had on, what she had on was this Valentino birdcage, like it was like a covering. And it was gold, and it was really, really nice. And so they did a few interviews. The premiere was held at the Netflix studios. This was Lee Daniels' first studio movie ever.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it was his first studio movie.
Independent till now? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yep. So this was his first studio movie. So he really wanted to. So that probably was the reason why he was able to get Glenn Close, to be honest.
Glenn Close needs studio money. She's not trying to do it independent. She's like,
I ain't doing no favors. I ain't doing no favors for you.
I'm Glenn Close, darling. I'm Glenn Close.
So she did an excellent job. I was able to speak to her, and it was funny because I wasn't expecting this character. So at the after party, she came in, and I was like, what did you think? And she was like, Lonnie, now we're on first name basis.
Listen.
She says, I saw a cut of this movie, but it wasn't like this. And she says, I'm really, really pleased. This wasn't what I thought.
Oh, wow.
It was. And I'm just happy the way it turned out. It's just that powerful of a movie. So shout out to my girl Glenn Close on that.
Shout out to Glenn Close. OG.
I love that. Moving on to our girl Angelina, not Angela Jolie.
I was gonna say, but you get everybody's names wrong, so it's par for the course.
See, it's just one thing, Lonnie. You said Angela.
That's
Jolie.
why I thought you were talking about Angelina's black cousin.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's helping. Everything is helping. Angelina is at the Venice Film Festival. There's a lot of good movies that are coming out. The Venice Film Festival is that it sets us off for the Oscar season. That's why I love and they brag about how long the standing ovations are. They got 11-minute standing ovation.
5 hours, yeah, for sure. It's longer than the movie. Give me a break. After a while, I'm just like, I'm sitting down. I'm not fucking standing. Are we sitting? What are we doing, guys? We gotta go.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta catch a gondola and go to.
It's like they still clapping.
That's ridiculous. But listen, I get there's an overindulgence of like, oh, you're an artiste, like, oh, you're amazing. It's just like kissing everybody's ass, which is fun. But I will say this about Venice, because I love Venice. My ex-husband, the one we took the name off, he's Italian, so I used to spend a lot of time in Italy. And people rag on Venice because it's very touristy naturally, but I think it's one of the most amazing places I've ever been. Like, it's like being in a Salvador Dali painting. Like, it's just, to me, surreal. And if you go, to Italy when you're not a tourist, you go with people who your family lives there or whatever. It's such a different experience. So I shout out to Venice. Like, it's one of my favorite places in the world.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to go there.
You have to go, but you have to go with somebody who's Italian. You can't go as a tourist. It's a whole different vibe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I will take you to Venice, Loni Love. Even though you never take me anywhere, I will take you to Venice.
Anyway, Angelina is starring in a movie called Maria at the Venice Film Festival. She got, I think, 11-minute standing ovation. Standing ovations. This is considered her comeback because Angelina has been taking care of all them kids that she has.
My God.
Then she goes around the world for UNICEF. She's doing her thing. She is a grown ass woman doing 100%. Her thing. But what I thought was interesting, I wanted to get your take on this, was that she is saying that she is stuck in LA until the Brad Pitt divorce is final. She said, I grew up in this town. I am here because I have to be here from a divorce. But as soon as the twins turn 18, I'll be able to leave. When you have a big family, you want them to have privacy, peace, and safety. And I have a house now to raise my children. But sometimes this place can be ... That humanity that I found across the world is not what I grew up with here. So she says, I spend a lot of time in Cambodia. I like to spend time visiting my family members wherever they may be in the world. But she's basically saying, I'm stuck in LA until this divorce and stuff. So
what in the world happened with her and Brad? I mean, like, they were like crazy in love. Like, he left Jennifer Aniston for her. They're having sex on every surface in any place they are. You can just tell how like sexually attracted and how much love there was. And then for her to be like wanting to go to Cambodia because I don't want to see this motherfucker again. And her kids are changing their names, like taking Pitt off the names. I mean, she must be talking shit about him nonstop. So it's just, how do you go from being so in love and adopting 15 kids and wanting to spend your whole lives together and make a movie together, make 15 movies together, buy a winery together, to like, I don't even want to be in the same country as you. Like, how does that happen?
There have been allegations of DV. Right. And, when Brad accepted his Oscar, I believe he kind of admitted about being, turning sober, things like that. This is what I tell y'all about looking at these couples on Instagram, on ET Tonight, on Access Hollywood. They look so happy, but when those doors close and they get behind those doors, it's all kinds of things happening. So stop looking at people going, oh, I wish I was, and she looks like she has everything together. No. When your kids say, I don't want your last name, it's a problem.
That's deep. That's really deep.
But what I love about Angelina is that she has not let that stop her. She's held strong. She has taken care of those kids. She put the black one in Spelman.
My parents tried to put me in Spelman. I was like, are you serious? Like, what am I going to do?
What? What's wrong with Spelman?
I'm an LA girl too, and I'm just like, I'm not going to the South or whatever, wherever it is.
That's HBCU, baby.
I know. Can I tell you a horrible story? Oh, when I was on the game, we were talking about Wendy. Mm-hmm. We're in the writers' room once, and I know that these are black. I know Howard, I know Spelman, I know all of those colleges. But someone mentioned HBCU, and I didn't know what that. I hadn't heard that term. So like, and they like railed me. Like, I'm like, what's HBC? Like Erica, they're historically black colleges and universities. I'm like, oh, I know that those exist. I just didn't know that was the acronym.
Oh, baby.
I know. Listen, I've come a long way since my young writer days in LA.
You know what? When I was doing the reel, I made it a point to make sure that I talked about HBCUs. I had to explain it to my producers who were white, but that's fine because I tried to tell them the importance of historically Black college. Real quickly, there was a time when, surprise, surprise, Black people could not go to certain colleges. So they developed colleges, and there are over now 100 historically Black colleges and universities, and I've graduated from the great Prairie View A&M University. And sometimes, it's becoming, it's better and better. They've gotten funding, things like that. So to see her put her daughter in Spelman, that just shows you that she's attuned to her. I think that she wants her to make sure that she understands her culture and her roots. And actually, she's joined the AKAs, the sorority. There are Black sororities. There are 9 of them. And y'all probably know about it because of Kamala. Kamala talks about the Divine Nine.
And my mother's an AKA. Claire Huxtable is an AKA, of course.
I'm a Delta, so
of course.
That's why she's snooty. She's 100%. Snooty because of that,
That pink and green.
Does them ski-wees. And that's what Vice President Harris is. She is she's a AKA. I'm a Delta, but there are 9 sororities and colleges, and it's just about a point of sisterhood. So Zahar, that's her name. They ended up, she pledged AKA, and you can see her strolling and everything. So she's getting that experience. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Angelina Jolie. I know this is probably hard, and she's still a grown-ass woman. She handles things like a grown-ass woman. And speaking of Kamala Harris, y'all been on her to go ahead and we should go give her an interview. What is she hiding?
What is she hiding?
Yeah, right while she talked to the press. Kamala Harris, much hyped, big first interview was radically normal. This is according to The Guardian. Just like the Democratic convention, they're saying the vice president did enough to clear the bar and do herself no harm. She did a interview with CNN, Dana Bash. And did you get to check it out, Erica? I
did. You know me. Even though I seem like an airhead, I love politics.
You're not an airhead.
I'm a bougie little LA girl, but I'm very political. And first of all, I love Dana Bash. Like, she, to me, is one of my favorite interviewers. But I know she got a lot of backlash because she thinks it was a softball interview and that she didn't press her on, topics. But I will say, I will give Kamala credit because she is really an expert at not just deflection, but she knows how to make her point and still look like she's answering the questions. Like, I think that is a huge talent that not everybody recognizes in politicians. Like, some people get, pushed up against the wall, or like Donald Trump will just lie and make up things. But she, but she really, she listens to the question, she formulates an answer, but she gets her talking points across. And that's the game right there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, she did it. Whenever they're trying to find something. Like, and I hate that they're trying to find something with her personality. It's like, okay, is she Black? Well, you said, and it's like, you guys, when you are of a mixed race, you identify with everything. And there was this rule back in the day that if you had one drop of Black blood, African blood, you were considered Black. So now we embrace our Blackness, and that's what she has been doing. But for some reason, they're trying to say, oh, first she said she was Indian, and then she said she's using that. It's like, you guys, she is that. She's Asian. She's Southeast Asian. She's Black. She's all of that. And she has a right to make sure that she lets those people in those cultures know that. Another thing that happened with Harris was that she did a joint election rally with Joe Biden in Detroit. And she was in Detroit and, she started code switching a little bit. For those that don't know, code switching, Black people, a lot of times, the only person that doesn't code switch is Erica. She sounds the same all the time. She never ever.
I'm authentic.
She's this is her. Like no matter what, if
Like
she's talking to some gang members, you guys, let's have peace.
It's so
okay?
true. That's 100% true.
She's gonna be, but you know, sometimes when we're speaking to each other, you know, and we're in a familiar setting, we will speak in a more authentic voice. And sometimes when we're in front of Caucasian people, or maybe you're on a job interview, you may go, yes, my name is Lonnie Love. How are you? Yes, I would love to have this position as an electrical engineer. I have my BA from Prairie View A&M University. But when I'm with my girl Erica, I'm like, girl, you know, I got to go on this job interview. It's just a difference. And and they call it code switching. So they felt like during this rally, she code switched. She was in one city, Detroit, and then she went to another city afterwards. And I think they kind of gave her a note like, don't code switch. So they try to use that as a like why is she doing a Southern accent? And it really wasn't a Southern accent. She was doing like, I felt like it was a girlfriend moment, because she was talking to union workers, and she was like basically like, you know, if you want your work week, thank a union worker. If you have a day off, thank a union worker. That was the cadence.
Absolutely. Well, I think you're from Detroit. So, like, you know, if you got to be in Detroit, you better talk a certain way. Even if I go to Detroit, I might have to code switch too. Listen, when we go to Venice, I will help you speak a couple of words of Italian so you can code switch into their culture as well. That's what you do. When we try to live amongst the people, that's what you do.
Well,
when in Rome, as they say.
Yes, when in Detroit.
When in Detroit.
Speak in Detroit.
Speak in Detroit.
No, shout out to my hometown, Detroit. I love Detroit. Lastly, let's talk about Cam Newton. Because we're talking about childless by choice, Cam Newton, who everybody knows is an ex-NFL football player, he was doing a podcast, and he expressed in this podcast his desire to have more children with multiple women, but has chosen to avoid marriage. He explained his reasoning for wanting to remain single in the interview. And he says, you know, a lot of people see my situation and think that I'm not high functioning. I'm not married. I have beautiful children. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. And basically this doctor that her name is Dr. Bryant that he was talking to kind of broke it down gently to him, because you know how you have to break stuff down gently to men, because you will hurt their whole ego.
Oh my God, don't get me started. Yeah.
She basically said you're making a bunch of broken homes. I didn't have children because I didn't want to be somebody's baby mama. If I would have gotten married, and we're going to talk more about the child, why I'm child free, why you're child free, but that's the thing, is that I feel bad for certain women, because it's funny, he did this interview, and then maybe like a week later, one of the mother of his children did a post, and she says, hey, I have 5 children, and I think 4 of them is by Cam, and I thought that I would be married to him, and then I found out that he had a baby with another woman, and so we broke up. So she basically had these babies by him, thinking, my thing is this, y'all stop doing stuff backwards.
Right. Well, listen, I blame Nick Cannon for this. If you want to come for me, Nick, come, but don't come with no condom, because I'm having a baby. But because I think guys, again, we talked about it. You talked about it with Offset. You know, there's guys who are famous and they have means, right? They have access and means, and so there's no need for them to put a ring on it or to wife somebody up. Because to your point, these women are just giving it away, and that's okay too. I'm not judging. If you want to have somebody's baby and be a baby mama, that's on you. But don't go back and be like, well, I thought I was going to be married. When did you think that? After the 4th baby? Like, when did you think he was going to wife you up? So I'm just saying, girls, don't get go get okey doked.
I mean, I can't wait till we do an episode on marriage and how women put marriage as this status symbol for them. There's example after example after example of, you know, how marriage doesn't necessarily make you the woman that you think you're going to be.
I've been married twice, married and divorced twice, so I'm like on my way to J-Lo territory. Okay, so like, who you telling?
Wedding bells sound like alarm clocks to you.
Hell yeah! I mean, I know. I'm all bringed out. But no, I do think, again, I think of it as generational too. I think, you know, our generation, like we were coming up thinking like, oh, you need to get married and have babies. Like it was all expected. Our mothers did that, right? But we're kind of, I always talk about it like we're losing our tails in real time, like evolution wise as women, because we got one foot in the traditional, like being a wife, being a mother. But now the foot is like, I don't need a man. I can do my own thing. I've got a career. And so we're kind of like walking through this evolution in real time versus I think the women are coming behind us. They're like, if I want a baby, I'll have a baby. Like we talked about Cardi B. I don't need him. I'm pregnant and getting divorced. You know what I mean? Like
at the same time, it's like, what is happening?
Exactly.
Like, but traditionally, this is why, as a grown ass woman that has lived her life, I'm telling you, if you have to decide what you want to do with your life. When you're in your 20s, decide what you want to do. And don't make a permanent decision off of a temporary feeling. Yes. You might be in the bed with that man and y'all getting it on and you like, yeah, I'm going to have his baby and everything. I'm just telling you, if you have to ask yourself, and that's the thing that I think that we're not doing with our younger generation, is asking them, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you want out? Do you think you want to get married? You know, babies are a lot of responsibility. You know, it's not just being a baby mama and then you're going to be, what would you be hurt? I need to make a checklist for young women. Like, okay, if he goes and have another baby with somebody else, how you going to feel about it? You know, what is it? You know, exactly. It's a whole bunch of different things that if you want to be married, and I'm all for marriage, but do the marriage first before you having 4-5 kids and now you on IG going, you know, I thought I was going to.
But going back to the Cam Newton of it all and the Nick Cannon of it all, there is something going on with men, especially like I think he's probably like in his late 30s, where there's this whole need to like populate the earth with my seed.
Yeah, they want harems.
It's a midlife crisis thing too. Like I've got 20 kids, and like look at like what I did. Like this is my, like, I'm leaving this on the earth as my legacy. You know, I think legacy becomes a big thing at that age. It's like our version of a midlife crisis.
Siege says it's called breeder fetish.
Oh, I like that.
I call it being a hoe. And on that note, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into today's topic with Angela Grovey. This is Grown Ass Women Talking.
Today's guest debuted on Broadway in Leap of Faith and starred in Escape to Margaritaville. She's toured nationally with The Play That Goes Wrong and Newsies. As executive director of Broadway International Voices, she leads efforts to uplift communities through arts and outreach. Currently, she plays Krista Waters in Hulu's Reasonable Doubt alongside Michael Ealy, the fine-ass Morris Chestnut, and Emma Yadi Cornaldi. Season 2 is now on Hulu. Please welcome one of my faves, Angela Grovey. Hello, Angela.
Hi, Loni. Hi, Erica.
Hey, Angela. Welcome, girl.
How you been, sis?
I'm good. You know what? Life is lifing. It's an exciting time to be alive right now in America. Yes. It's an exciting time to be a Black woman.
Yes.
I'm blessed to be life is good right now. I'm excited.
I am so, like, we needed this sometimes, you know, just to prove that we're okay, you know. Yeah. So we're going to jump right into our topic for today. Today's grown-ass topic, we are in a time when reproductive rights are front and center. And while we all fight for women's rights to choose motherhood, more and more women are opting to live child-free, and they're thriving. You know, you have celebrities like Chelsea Handler, Tracy Ellis Ross, and even Miley Cyrus have openly shared their decisions to build fulfilling lives without kids. So today we're going to get vulnerable as we dive into the complexities of choosing a life without children. Some call us childless cat ladies, but
or dog
we
ladies.
say no toddler, no cry. Okay, Angela, tell us about your choice to be child-free.
So it has been a journey, right? It has been a journey with myself. It's also been a journey with like dealing with the things I think people are going to say, especially my family. I grew up in Texas. So it very much was the norm that when you go to college, you go off and you go meet your man and then you go get married. And like, it's very much that, like, especially in like the Black Christian community, it was very that. And I decided for myself maybe 10 years ago that I was like, I don't really know that I want that. I love my career, and to be an artist, it's a selfish profession. And it took me a long time to like find peace with the word selfish, but it also means selfless. I think that when you choose to bring a child into this world and parent a child, you are committing to being there. The good, the bad, the ugly. And because of my career, I can't always be on call 24/7. So I made the choice that I was like, I know who I have to answer to when my days are done. And I had to make peace with that like, I'm still a great person. I'm not defined by what it is that comes out of my body, but I do truly believe that I'm defined by the love that I put out into this world. And I mother a lot of kids that did not come out of my body. So that's kind of like the long and short of how I have made peace with the fact that like I'm still a woman, number one. And I'm still a wonderful human being, even though I choose not to have a child.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What you're saying, Angela, hits home with me. I was like, as a stand-up comic, I did the road for over 10 years. And it's really the reason why you don't see a lot of female comics, in my opinion, is because, there's a process. You have to do the road. If you do the road, you're away from home a lot. And a lot of women that I started doing comedy with are no longer doing comedy because they ended up having children. And, that is a different responsibility. Because my thing was, I made the choice, like, it was like 15 years ago. I said, you know what? Motherhood is not going to be in my cards. Because if I have a baby and I leave that baby with somebody and something happens to that child, that person, I'm going to be in jail. Okay?
Yes.
And I just didn't want that whole, responsibility, and it's not fair to the child. To me, if you're not going to be home half the time, it's not fair to do that. But like you said, when you made that decision, how is your family feeling? Like, are you still getting pressure to have children?
Well, I feel like it's a little generational. So like when I go home and I visit the country, as we call it, and I have some elders in my family who are in their hundreds. And so it's very much, when you gonna get married? When you gonna have some babies? And, I just have to be like, you know what, Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, you know what? I just don't know. And I just like, let it go. My mom gets it. My family gets it. They so support what my career, and they see the hustle and the drive that it takes. But my family also sees how I nurture other young people in my life. So I feel like my family doesn't pressure me because they're like, oh, she's mothering other people just in a different way. So in a way, I feel like by me making that choice, I've actually educated my family to be like, listen, we can approach this in different ways. And so I'm actually like surprised by my natural father that my natural father doesn't like pressure me a little more on it. Because he's very old school. But he like, nah, we good. I was like, even better.
But that's the thing. It's not about your family being fulfilled. It's about you being fulfilled. You know what I mean? So like if you're fulfilled and you feel like you have all the love for children in your life that you need, then why have to cater to them? You know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing that we as women, as grown-ass women, realize. We shouldn't be pressured by what people want for us. We have to do what we want for ourselves.
Yeah, but Erica, like, do you feel like that? Oh, I'm so sorry, Lonnie. I was like,
no, go
yes,
ahead.
I'm living for this. Do you sometimes feel that like the standards of like what you should be as a Black woman sometimes block like your own personal choice,
100%,
right?
100. Well, I'll tell you, in my situation, I tried very hard to have children. I wanted to have children when I was younger. I was married twice. It's a whole thing. Lonnie's heard this a million times about my husbands, but we'll move on from them. But, in my last marriage, we tried very hard to have kids. And I just, was older and I had reproductive issues, as Black women do often. And so it just didn't happen. And then once I got divorced, my friends who, to your point, I have godchildren. I'm very maternal. My friends were like, just have a baby by yourself. Like I have a friend who just had a baby by surrogate on her own. She's a doctor and she, is a single mom now, which good for her. She's making it work, but that's just not what I wanted. I wanted a family. I didn't want to be a single mom. Like I have a dad who's very important to me, so I don't want to bring a kid in this world, to your point, Lonnie, and have to like leave him or her with, a nanny, have somebody else raise them. So for me now at this stage of my life, I've reconciled that I'm not going to be somebody's mother in that way. I was a stepmom for a minute because I dated a guy who had a daughter who I loved. She was 8 years old, was perfect. Like my 8-year-old girl, it was like had the best friend. You know what I mean? So that's a way to bring kids into your life. And then again, I just found out, I forgot to tell you this, Lonnie. I just found out last night that I'm going to be another godmother because my friend's having a baby. And they asked me to be the godmother. Yeah. So my life is full of children, and you have to at least I've reconciled that they don't have to come out of my body, to your point, Angela. And I'm good with that.
And because you don't have children doesn't mean that you hate children.
No,
you just
I love
choose
kids.
to,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why people feel like, and society feels like we got to one up because we don't have children. So people assume. Let's talk about the assumptions. People feel like, okay, well, you've got extra money because you don't have children, or you can just come over to my house anytime because you don't have children. Bitch, I got a life.
But it's kind of true though. Like I tell my business manager, let me buy a purse because I don't have to put kids through college. Okay.
No, Erica.
Well, Erica. It's true.
It's true.
But can I buy a Birkin bag because I have no kids to put in college? So let me get a Birkin bag.
What your business manager is saying is different than your friends assuming that
you're talking about money and about how much money we have because we don't have children, and it's true.
Right. Well, I mean, it depends on what you spend your money on, Birkin bags. But this is the thing. Society assumes that they make this assumption that because you are childless by choice, then I feel like they add a responsibility. I know for myself that, okay, well, you can come and babysit my kids anytime because you have time, or you can loan me some money to help Junior. And I'm like, no, my money is my money. My, time is my time. And you can't assume for me because I don't have children that I'm sitting at home, the childless cat lady. No, that's not it.
On stacks of money.
Right. Just sitting, chilling. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that's it. But and this is something too. I was looking at the statistics of childless people in America, and a 2021 survey found that the number of non-parents aged 18 to 49 who say they were not too likely to have children was 44%. 44% of people within 18 to 49. And there's another thing too. As a grown-ass woman, I don't want to be, I'm like you, Erica, I don't want to be a single mother. I don't want to be a baby mama. I just did not want that. And as I was growing up and going through this whole thing, I saw my mom suffer. I saw my mom as a single mom, and we lived in the projects, and she worked a lot, and to not have that partner to kind of help, I think that kind of for me.
Absolutely.
I think about that and I go, now, do I really want to, try to tough it out? And so that has affected me too, But Angela, if you were to find a partner that wanted children, would you have children?
I would not be opposed to the conversation. I think it's one thing to have children naturally. That's a process, right? You have to like dedicate some time and some energy to like sitting down, taking care of your body, nurturing yourself. And I don't know that I would be willing to do that. So I think that when I say like open to the conversation, I might be like, great, you want to talk about maybe fostering or adopting or getting a surrogate? I'm not closed to the conversation, but I'm also, as a grown ass woman, not willing to sacrifice my joy and happiness in life and the kind of parent that I can be because I'm going to dilute the quality of who I am as a person.
But see, that's what's so amazing about being a grown-ass woman, because we know that now. Like when we were young, you know, at least for me, you know, so like you were saying about your parents in Texas, your family in Texas, you got married, you like had kids. Like my parents got married. My mom was 19 when she got married. You know what I mean? So like, and they're both from the South as well. So it's like, you know, you got married, you had kids, but then you still had a career. My mom's has a PhD. You know, you still did all your stuff. You like had your babies on your hip, and you did your school books or whatever. For me, it's different now that I'm older. So I know how hard it is to get to where I am career-wise, like you're saying. Like all of us have these big careers, these big lives. I know the sacrifice I would have to make for that child, and also the sacrifices they would have to have in their lives, not having their mom present. And I don't think that it's again, me personally, I know there's a lot of single moms out there. Shout out to them. My girlfriend who's a doctor, I said she's got her baby. He's adorable. She's making it work for her. For me, the time I spent with my mom as a child was so important to me. And I'd want to have that same kind of connection and be able to, you know, mother in that way where I'm just not handing it off to some nanny. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's personal. That's a personal choice, you know.
But then here's a question then. What about, let's talk about the myths and what people feel. You don't have children, so who's going to take care of you when you get older?
Well, that's a big question.
And you know what? I think I feel like that is unfair.
Yep.
I just think it's so unfair. My mom is 75 years old. Shout out to her. She not going nowhere for a long time. Love her. Yes. My dad, love them. And I'm an only child. So I have been able to step up when my parents have had health issues and I needed to be the responsible person. And it has made me think about like, oh God, what's going to happen to me because I might not have this. And I've really been like, that's unfair pressure to put on a child anyway. And I'm like, cool, let me get my own ducks in a row so that I have some sort of security. Let me make sure that I'm a nice human being so that my nieces and nephews and godkids are like, cool, when you're older, I'm gonna come check on you. When you're, you know, I'm not gonna forget about you. I don't want to live in a world where I'm fearful that somebody's not going to take care of me and it be the child that I brought into this world to live and flourish.
Yeah, to that point, you're assuming your child's going to be a good kid and take care of your child. Could be an asshole.
Right. What if your kid
There's a lot of asshole children. Exactly. That's like, you know, you don't know. He might be leaving
and they throw you in a home in a minute.
He might drive you up to a home and drop your ass off, and you'll be like, take all your money.
The Sunnyvale Adult Nursing Center.
Yes. Your child could be a douche.
Yeah, 100%.
But for me, I am planning. I'm thinking about, you know, because I am a grown-ass woman, I said, well, let me plan, you know, and I think that's important if you are planning on being childless. First of all, there are some things I think you have to ask yourself if you say, I want to be childless. If you are of a certain age and you can freeze eggs, I would say freeze it because you might change your mind. I will say that.
I still have mine.
But, still got some eggs?
Yeah, but they may be powdery.
Right. They scrambled.
Not scrambled, Lonnie. Not scrambled.
Because I did it with my ex-husband because we were having fertility problems. So thank God I didn't do embryos, because that would be his. But so technically they're still my eggs. But yeah, they might be scrambled by now. We'll see.
Because if
I try to thaw them out.
That's the thing too. Be careful if you're a single woman and you got embryos because
they're not yours.
they're not yours. And my friend, my very good friend, she knows this, Sherry Shepherd, she has to pay for those embryos. And her ex-husband, he waiting on her to miss a payment. Because if she miss a payment, he wants one of those to have a baby for his as a sibling for his current son that he had with,
Well, didn't
Sherry.
that happen to Sofia Vergara too, right? She had embryos with her ex-boyfriend, and then he wanted to make them into babies, and she's like, "No, we're not together anymore." So she had to like sue him not to use the embryos. So yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So you got to know what's eggs and what's embryos.
I know. Angela's like, "What is going on in this world?"
That's wild to me. That like all you're trying to do is like do good, and like people are
horrible.
They will take advantage. That's why
will.
That's why I said make sure you plan, and then you think about as you get older, what are you going to do? So like I said, I'm looking at Sunnyvale Nursing Home. There are a lot of living places. I mean, that's just being real, because my thing is,
go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead. You finish your thing and I'll tell you mine.
No, I'm done. I'm done now.
She said Sunnyvale living, period. That's what she gonna be.
I
got Hennessy in the throat and I don't forgot.
Your plan
what's your thing?
My plan is maybe like a 30-year-old boyfriend who's
Here we go.
Erica.
Here we go.
Erica.
I'm gonna
imagination.
I'm gonna Elizabeth Taylor it and be on my 8th husband, and he's gonna be 30, and then he'll just like wheel me out, into the sun and let me sit there while he goes and spends all my money. But it's fine. Just put me by the beach.
What are his other responsibilities? Is he just wheeling you out, or is he doing other things?
Well, at this point, I'll be like 100, and so I won't know where I am.
Yeah, she can't do nothing else. What else she gonna be able to do? Them legs gonna crack if he try to open them.
Yes, I will have osteoporosis for sure.
Okay, all right.
I don't drink any milk, and so I'm lactose intolerant.
You know
so
what,
my bones
Erica?
will be brittle.
No,
I'm accepting my future, you guys.
No, we're gonna be golden girls. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna live with you.
Plan B. Yes, Lonnie Love.
You should live together.
I shouldn't have said that.
You said it. I'm moving in. Where's my shit? Moving into Lonnie's. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, I'm coming to the beach.
Yes. I'm coming to visit with the Henny.
With the Henny, get the Henny ready.
I got the Henny ready.
Kobe and I are coming over.
Yes.
Hell yes. This is a Golden Girls right here. This is a hot Golden Girls.
Now, which Golden Girl would you be though?
I'm Blanche.
Oh, she's
the
Blanche.
whore, 100%.
Straight up. Straight up.
There'll be a revolving door of hot 40-year-olds coming through. We're not 70.
I live for it, Erica. Live your life.
Now, who are you? Who are you, Angela?
I'm a combo.
Okay.
I'm a Blanche Dorothy.
Okay. Oh, that's a crazy combo. So you're like your duality. Are you Gemini?
I'm not. I'm a Pisces, but I'm a good Pisces. I'm a normal Pisces.
All right. We'll be the judge of that.
There's some Pisces they're a little kooky. They're a little kooky. Lonnie, who would you be? What Golden Girl would you be?
Erica, who am I?
I think you're Blanche for sure. on the down low, but Dorothy.
No.
Okay, Dorothy.
Yeah, I'm Dorothy.
But that's the obvious choice. That's the obvious choice. I think there's a Blanche inside of you that we don't get to see.
You want me to be a hoe so bad?
Yes!
I'm not.
Come to the dark side.
I'm not.
Listen, if you ever break up with your boyfriend, I think it's gonna you're gonna have a
No,
little...
that's never happening. He's gonna be with us too.
I know
he's
gonna be
living right
he's gonna
with
be in the Golden Girls house with us. We'll be like,
I know.
I love that. I love that.
Too
that's
much.
so sweet.
Lonnie, can I ask you a question? Just because Erica just brought up your boyfriend situation. Do you all have conversations about?
Oh, he's
children?
So old. That damn sperm is liquid. Air. I don't have to worry about nothing with him. Nothing. That's what I'm saying too. If you decide to go childless, make sure whoever your partner is
has liquid
can
sperm.
shoot them blanks. shoot the air, because that's what you need. Because, sitting over here having a baby at 55. Well,
Janet Jackson. Janet
Jackson.
And that's why she's still working. You got a baby at 50.
Like, I'm on residency now. I got to pay for this baby.
I mean, truly.
Like, girl, who want to be doing all of that?
I know.
That's God bless her. Ooh,
God bless her.
Okay, here's a question, Angela. Would you date a man with children?
So yes. So I will just tell you in full transparency, I am a proud member of the LGBTQIA+ community.
Oh, nice.
I am the very, very fierce B as a bisexual woman.
Come on now.
I am currently in a 10-year relationship with a woman that I love.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. But before this, I was in a relationship with a man who had a baby. And it was fine because I like kids.
Yeah.
I like kids.
Okay.
I like kids.
Yeah. But now, your partner, if she wanted to have a baby, or, you'd be okay with that. Like, as long as you don't have a kid.
I would be open to the conversation.
Open to the conversation.
I would.
Because
I
she's
love
a diplomat.
that.
Yeah, she's a diplomat.
I want to hold space
to
for all the people. But I also like to pop off to Mexico when I want to.
Yeah.
And can't do that when you have babies.
Right.
I will say, when I was growing up, my parents were super, again, young, but they were super fly. And they would just take us everywhere they went. We go to parties with them. We go, like, on vacation with them. Like, we were just, like, kids, like, in their back pocket.
Nobody want that.
But they didn't change their lifestyle for us. You know what I mean? And I think kids, or parents nowadays, feel like they have to, do everything for the kids. We were just, like, throw in the back seat,
Yeah, they with you.
Yeah, we'd be running through the stores. We were just went everywhere with them. They didn't care. And we were
I love that.
Yeah, it was great. So I think we're too precious with our kids now. You know what I mean? It's like we got to be at home with them. They've got to be in the car seat. They got to be like we didn't have a car seat. My brother used to be in the back of the station wagon. We'd slide around the whole time, like make it like a little game. You know what I mean? Like we'd take the curves and be like, pew.
I'll tell you, that's the kind of mama I would be. I'd be drinking, the kids be watching me.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I know I am not a mother. I'm an auntie. I'm not a mother material.
Yes.
That's
and aunties are necessary. Aunties are
100%.
necessary.
Oh my God. Aunties
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, look at Kamala. Okay, look at that. You know what I'm saying?
She's also Mamala because she has her stepkids, and they love
exactly.
Yeah. I would love being a Mamala. I so enjoyed when I had this relationship with this guy at 8-year-old, and it was the best time ever. I mean, I miss her more than I miss him, for sure. But we took her to the bar. I took her to the Barbie movie. Like, we did all the 8-year-old things that, like, I love. So I'm so here for being a Mamala.
It's gonna happen for you. Unscramble those eggs, Erica.
No. Eggs. I think the eggs are gonna be. I'm gonna make an omelet out of the eggs.
Lonnie!
I think I'm gonna make an omelet.
Angela, before we let you go, let's talk about your show, Reasonable Doubt. How great is that? Being on and you're a series regular.
Yeah.
Look at that smile. Oh, how exciting.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that experience in the show.
Oh my God. I mean, the show we started season 1, like, in the pandemic. So like it was like a wild time, and then all of a sudden you hear about Onyx Collective, which is a branch of the Hulu family, and they are breaking out into this arm for Onyx Collective that's like focused on amplifying Black stories, Black people behind the camera, in front of the camera, and it's produced by Kerry Washington and Rama Muhammad and Larry Wilmore and Pilar. I was just like, what? So then to like go on this process and then get this part and be able to work with such amazing people that I admire and have watched for years it was such a dream. And then the fact that our show got to come back for season 2 after a double strike, I was like, thank you, God.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Always
like,
got you.
I feel so blessed to be doing what I love to do in a space of Black excellence where people are really seen and celebrated, and it's fantastic. The show is so spicy, and I like watched it the other day, and I had to cover my eyes because I was like, "Oh, y'all doing that?"
I love
it. Grown. It's very grown.
I love that. That's what we need.
And no, we need that, you know. Woo. Oh, Angela, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you, and thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, come join us anytime. You're so amazing.
Please, I will come back.
Great. And for our listeners, be sure to check out Reasonable Doubt Season 2 now on Hulu. And when we come back, we're going to get into my takeaway for this episode. This is Grown Ass Women Talking.
Welcome back to Grown Ass Women Talking. Loni, hit us with your final words. What have we learned today?
What did we learn today is that, you know, you can be childless by choice. And it's just that. It's a choice. Don't let nobody make you feel bad because you don't want no snotty nose, crumb snatching. I love the boo-boos. But no, don't let nobody make you feel bad because you make a decision in your life that's for your life. That is your decision. If anything that I've learned is just reinforce that I have made the right decision. I am a better auntie than I am a mama. I mean, I would have been a drunk mama. I probably would have been a cussing mama, a whooping mama. And I didn't want that in my life. I mean, if I left my child with somebody, I probably would be in jail right now. I'd be a jail mama. So sometimes in life, you got to let women be women, and women have to make choices. And so if you are childless by choice, you stand up and you be proud that you are childless by choice, because that's what it is a choice. And grown-ass women make their choices and they stick with them. So that's what I have to say. What about you? Any final words, Erica?
I'm just going to leave it there. And like Obama said, he can't follow Michelle, and I'm not going to follow Loni Love. So drop the mic. We're going to drop the mic on that one.
Well, we love y'all. Thank y'all for listening and joining us for another episode of Grown Ass Women Talking. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram or YouTube on GAWT Pod. Thanks again to Angela Grovey for joining us. Check out Season 2 of Reasonable Doubt on Hulu. See you all next week.
Bye, everyone. Love to everyone. Grown Ass Women Talking is a collaboration between True Love Productions, Dunnigan Lane Productions, and Heart Media Productions. Our executive producers are Loni Love, Erica Montolfo, and Siege Pokinghorn.
This episode was produced by Siege Pokinghorn and edited by Nicholas Crawford. Our music is by Cole Curtis. Special thanks to Elizabeth Munch and Chris Cuzio.